Hello, this is Katie from Crafting Ruby Dreams, and welcome to my channel. I talk about planners, goal setting, writing, publishing, and getting right with my finances. So it's been a month. It has been a month. I did have the previous live stream where I went over my 2023 planners. So if you haven't already seen that, I recommend going back and checking that out. That was a really fun live stream, and I'm really glad I was able to do that. So if you missed the topic in the title of today's video, today is going to be talking about burnout again and the return of it. So a little bit about that, as well as then some classes that if you are an author or involved in the publishing industry that you might be interested in, and my experiences with them, one of which I basically just took. So very fresh in my mind. And then the other is closing registration next week. So, all right, let's just get into it. So burnout. If you've been watching the channel for a while, you know that I was in massive burnout when I first started the channel. I didn't fully realize it, I think, when I first started the channel. In fact, the reason why I started the channel, it was just a way to, it was subconsciously. Consciously, I was like, I got really into watching planner videos in May of 2020. And I was like, I want to do this too. And so that was the conscious side of starting the channel. The unconscious side was I need a way to be creative, and I can't do that in writing right now. So let's do it this way. So that was the start of the channel. And then you probably saw my process, hopefully, as I was working my way through burnout and how that was part of I'll start off by saying it's frustrating to be back in burnout again, except for the fact that I know I'm in burnout. I recognize that that's what it is. I know the cause, and I know things that I can do to support myself so it doesn't get that be deep and bad the way I was in it when I first started the channel. So there is that. I'm just at the same time frustrated. It's like, oh, I'm back here again, except for the fact that honestly, it's going to be a part of my life forever because I've always been in cycles of burnout. I just didn't fully realize how consistent the cycle was. Anyway, so to get out of that during the channel round of burnout, and considering the deepness, the level of burnout I was in, I really truly needed what I call the trifecta of working in therapy with a licensed therapist, working with trained coaches. One is a trained life coach, and that's Sierra, a friend who is the founder of MäksēLife, and I was part of the first iteration of Club Maxi. So that was the last part of the trifecta that I added in. And then the first part actually was the strengths coaching, and that is with the Better Faster Academy. So it's been going. It's been, I got out of the really, truly deep burnout, wrote the books. I was flying high, and then November happened, and I was at a conference, which was wonderful. I had a great time, and I got COVID. So I was really not happy about that. Okay. But I was in COVID, and took me a number of weeks to work through it. Around the time I was finishing up, let's say, with COVID, at least the initial sickness, I'm actually pretty much okay. I haven't noticed any signs of long COVID. Thank all the deities. But like after the initial sickness was kind of like lightening up, we've got word that my one aunt who had been in treatment for cancer was back in the hospital and was not doing well, and was likely when she was going to be released to hospice care, which is what happened. And then she passed away on December 30th. So there was that, and I was home for the holidays, and this was my dad's sister. And so there was some turmoil with him being home and then being where she was to help support her and her family. So it was just rocky. It was a rocky holidays. It wasn't bad, with the exception of that. Like, being home with my family was good, but it was not our usual holiday type of celebration, and just being at home and just the ending of the year, because it just wasn't, with everything that was going on. At the same time, over the last year, I've known that a writer friend of mine was dealing with colon cancer, very severe colon cancer. And the day before or day of my aunt's passing, I got word that that friend was going to hospice. So she just passed this week, and not good, because she was younger than I am, and she had kids, and it was just not good. Anyway, trying not to cry. So I had that hanging over my head too. And then, but we did have my aunt's funeral, not at the start of this week, start of last week. And then my friend passed, and the next day I was doing micro coaching with one of the coaches. Micro coaching is their term for group coaching. Sorry. With one of the coaches from the Better Faster Academy, somebody who I've been coached by in the group coaching setting a number of times, so she knows who I am. And it was, I talked about dealing with all of this, and she was like, it sounds like you're in mini burnout. And I was just like, thank you very much for confirming my instincts, because I've been wondering for the last month if that's what I've been in, because of the roller coaster of stuff that's been happening with everything. Because there's been some really good things that have also happened in the last few months, and it's just trying to process all of that and deal with grief has been not great. And so it's affected my writing. I was supposed to, by now, in my head, have written what's going to be called the bonus epilogue for the book that I wrote last fall, and that the one that's going to be released later in the summer. So that's basically the treat. If you sign up for the newsletter under that name, then you're going to get this bonus epilogue story. So that's the treat, cookie, carrot, whatever, for signing up for the newsletter. And so I had expected to actually have that done in November. Well, my first idea, I actually kind of fleshed it out a little bit, but like wrote down, all right, this is what I'm going to go with. This is what I'm going to write. I did that while I was sick with COVID. And then I was just like, just didn't do anything with it. And so we talked about in coaching, and it's like, you know what? I am very high empathy and Clifton strengths. And with all of the emotional turmoil that was going on, I've probably attached a lot of emotions to that story idea, which is why I have this block. And by not finishing, like kind of like putting the closing aspect on the book that's going to release, I can't move on to book 2, which I was hoping to start writing last week, according to the schedule I wrote out for myself. So, and I knew with having the funeral last week, and then also starting one of the classes I'm going to be talking about later, I was probably not going to be able to start it last week. So I was like, all right, I'll start it this week. I'm like, I'm not starting it this week either. But I want to like kind of dig myself into that world again. I want to get started writing, and the competing, I want to do this. I know I want to be in this world, but I can't seem to get myself over that like starting hump. It's very frustrating. And so, like I said, we talked about in the coaching. So we came up with some ideas for me to work around and try to like ease myself into writing again. And so I'm going to do some of those. I already have a new idea for the bonus epilogue, so I'm going to see if I can write that. And if I ever want to go back to the other idea, I can absolutely do that. That'll be a nice little bonus thing for my newsletter subscribers. So that's what I'm going to do with regards to the writing. There's also the aspect of I'm in grief and dealing with that. And so I've been very tired, and I've been napping a lot more than usual. And that was like actually the first thing that pinged on my radar, that I'm like, oh, this might be more than I think it is. So when I feel the urge to nap, I go ahead and nap. And in fact, I took an hour and a half nap, right before this. I forced myself to get up at a 1:15, because I was just like, I have to get prepared for this live stream. I'm doing this live stream. I'm not sleeping through it. But I probably could have slept through it. That's just how I'm feeling physically today. And that's after like being outside this morning and doing like a mile-long walk while I did errands in the neighborhood. So, and I'm also, so in addition to respecting my body and the need for nap and recovery, because I was sick at the beginning of November. And while I have been very lucky, I haven't like any really lingering issues from it that I know of or can tell or feel. I was very sick when I hadn't been sick in a while. So it's just like, okay, just give my body some rest and recovery time. I'm also trying to do things. Oh, yes. And I know, Julia, and the grief that you have been dealing with is very significant too. So yes, it is a toll on your body that you don't realize how big of a toll that it is. So, and all the love to you too, because I know your situation. And so, yeah, so I've just been trying to let myself recover physically, as well as mentally recover. So I'm like going back to reading some comfort books. I pulled out a couple of books last night that I know will make me ugly cry, because every time I read these books, I can't help but sob, because they are just that emotionally gut punching to me. And they're in a series that I really, really love. And I reread other books in the series a lot more than I reread these two. These two are the two super gut punch books for me in this series. I'll mention those later. But I have started watching movies that I really love that I haven't watched in a while, but I know will make me laugh. And so in addition to having the catharsis of a very good ugly cry, also the catharsis of joy and laughter. So those are things that I know help refill my well. So I'm going to be very focused on trying to do those things, as well as making note of, and this is something I've been doing for a while, and it is also something that I stopped doing November and December. So that is, I think, an added level of, I wasn't processing a lot of my emotions as I had been earlier in the year in November or December. And that is journaling. I do a nightly journal in my one MäksēLife that I talked about in the 2023 planner lineup. And so there's the journaling aspect, very short. And I discuss my emotions. I process my emotions for the day. But I also try to make note of a win and something positive that happened in the day. Sometimes I can't do that. I just need to make a note of what happened, like my friend passing. Deep breath. So noticing and marking those positive, happy moments is also really good. I need some water. I'm sorry. I just, so much. So those are things that I can tell you that work for me. They may or may not work for you, but some books that I absolutely recommend for anyone. I think the Burnout book by Amelia Nagoski, which I've talked about before, and it focuses on the completion of the stress cycle within the body. That is something that I recommend reading for anybody. If you're a writer and you're experiencing burnout that affects your writing, Becca Syme, who is the owner and founder of the Better Faster Academy, she has done a book on burnout. So that is another reading resource that might be useful. And then I think just paying attention to the things that make you happy and give you joy and help energize you, and making a list of those things so that you are consciously aware of them and then returning to them. So you might not be able to replicate a very specific experience, but maybe you could try doing something similar. So yeah, so those are just, I think, some things to consider. And I am so thankful that I did all the work that I did to get myself out of burnout the first time, because I recognized the signs very early that I was likely going to be in burnout. Because again, it's like, for me, it was the combination, I think, of being sick myself for multiple weeks, and then having the family member and then the friend losing them. So those, I think the combination is what tipped me over, with it being in so short of a span of time. But again, I actually was paying attention to things back in December that I was like, this might be, but again, you can be aware of that you're going in burnout and you're still not able to completely pull yourself out until you're ready. And so luckily this is a light burnout for me, but I am looking forward to seeing what develops over the next few weeks and how things go forward. So that is the burnout update, but hopefully you have some ideas if you're experiencing it yourself. I have been noticing a lot of people, if they weren't in burnout before, I'm like, oh, those poor people, they're in burnout again. They're in burnout. And it's like, I'm past that. I'm like back in the mini one myself. But I've been noticing a lot of people have been, especially writers mainly, but I think a lot of people who aren't writers, just general state of the world. It's just, I think, hitting a lot of people right now. So hopefully you can focus on finding some joy, closing out the things that drain you, and or at least acknowledging the things that drain you if you can't completely shut them out of your life, because I recognize that there are some things take a lot more work to cut out of your life. So good luck with that. Oh, 218. Okay. So this might be a shorter live stream, which is fine. We'll see how the talk about the classes goes. The last class, the one that I just took, might be a little deeper discussion. So I do want to mention Publish and Thrive, which I have done a review on here before after I took it, actually this time last year. And it is a course on self-publishing, primarily self-publishing. It is, I think, intended to be a course for anyone interested in publishing, that is presented by Sarah Cannon, who does the Heart Breathings channel. It's an, I'll say, offshoot of her HB90 course, except it's more about the, excuse me, Publish and Thrive is the mechanics of publishing, whereas HB90 focuses on the process of what you are trying to do for your career over the next quarter. And so HB90 can be used by any type of creative or anybody who just finds that system works for them, whereas Publish and Thrive is very specifically about publishing. And I would say, because of Sarah's experiences as a self-published author, she, to the best of my knowledge, does not have any personal experience with traditional publishing. self-publishing is very much the focus of Publish and Thrive, but there are absolutely things that if you are interested in traditional publishing that you can glean from being a part of Publish and Thrive. I liked the course, even though I had a lot of experience with publishing up to that point. I think that if you do have experience of actually being published, depending on who else you are friends with in your sources of information and the resources you have available to you, you might find that it's a little too introductory for you. But I've taken it. I know somebody else who's a very experienced author who took it after being both traditionally published and self-published for a number of years before taking it, and she highly recommends it. So I think even if you're experienced, you can find some value in the course. But with the course now being 6 weeks long, she did expand it in terms of length. I think it was mainly to do 2 weeks of marketing rather than just 1 week of marketing, because I don't know the specific schedule yet because I haven't gone looking. I have access to probably the schedule, but not the actual revised courses. Oh, great, Katrina. When I took it, I was 9-ish books in, but I still got a lot of information from the later modules. But it helped when I went from KU to wide. That's also a very good point if you're changing your personal business model of self-publishing. So thank you for sharing that. So it's expanded to 6 weeks, and accordingly, the price has gone up to $500, $499. So if that is a little too much money for you, you might want to consider saving up or just doing a lot of the legwork needed to dig into what it is that you have questions on or aren't feeling comfortable about. So Sarah has also said that this upcoming course, Kelly, okay, great. Excellent. Well, I wish you the best of luck. Those of us who are alumni who are interested in quote unquote taking it over again, which because of my schedule stuff, I will kind of lightly be paying attention to just because I want to see what's being discussed and everything. So since I know people look to my channel as for the review of it and everything, I've gotten a number of hits on my review videos I've seen over the last few weeks. So this version, this class period, February 2023, Sarah said that is going to be the only time that she will be holding the class this year. In the past, she's held it twice a year, but with what she is trying to accomplish with her writing career and with her family obligations and also running HB90, she has decided to only hold it once this year, and that's the class that starts next Saturday. So it starts next Saturday and registration closes next Saturday in the morning, Eastern time. So you want to be signed up for this year if you absolutely want to take it this year, but you might just decide, I'm going to save up. I'll take it in 2024 when she offers it again. I think it's absolutely worth it. If you're not sure, $500 is a lot. I would sit and see what you can find and give yourself maybe like a little deeper understanding of publishing and make sure that it's something you actually do want to pursue, because again, Katrina took it when she was 9 books in. So it can be helpful, not just to newbies. So if you decide to start just going ahead and publishing, that's fine. You can correct stuff as you go along, as you learn more, because that's what everyone does. Not everyone starts off knowing everything. And honestly, even if you waited to publish until you took this course, there's still a lot of information. You are still not going to be able to implement everything when you start. With my writing career, the restart of this writing career, I've very, very specifically decided to focus just on writing the books and getting them published. So there's a whole lot of stuff that has to happen with that. And in terms of marketing, focusing on using TikTok as my primary social platform for the new name and building my newsletter. So those two things, in addition to actually just putting the books out, because putting the books out is the most important thing. So knowing what your priorities are and knowing that you cannot implement everything at once. Honestly, if you could implement everything at once, it would be because you have a lot of money funding this career initially and you are hiring a team to help you. I'm going to be flat, dead serious. That is how you implement everything at once. You become a true publisher. And honestly, even then, really small independent presses, they can't do everything either, even with the team. So it's, I trying to adjust your expectations of I'll learn all this and I'll be able to do all of it. No, it's just know what's important to you, know what your goals are for running this business, and then act accordingly. So, but yeah, so registration is open until next Saturday. Sarah has put up one of the videos as a kind of teaser of what you can expect. That is on her Heart Breathings channel. Price is now $4.99 if you're just doing Publish and Thrive. If you're interested in doing the bundle with HB90 Bootcamp, it is $599. So it's if you're to do them separately without any kind of alumni discount or bundle, it would be $700. So it's a $99 savings. So yeah, those are the things to think of. And yes, exactly that. I'm still making slow steps on things I learned at RAM because of money and time. Yes, Romance Author Mastermind is what RAM stands for, if for those watching aren't familiar. And yes, I'm still, by the way, Katrina, we have until Tuesday to watch the videos again if you want. So just, yeah, I got to do some of that too. But yeah, it is really, truly understanding what your priorities are, where you want to focus your time, and what's going to give you the biggest bang for your buck if your goal is to make money. Because honestly, not everybody's goal is to make money, and that is fine, because you have to know what's going to be a sustainable goal for you in your career. So I'm going to take another hit of water because I'm feeling very congested. Yes, watch third and fourth time to make sure I have the info. I was happy for the extra time. Agreed. Agreed. So speaking of courses and conferences and stuff, I decided this year, and it's looking like Romance Author Mastermind, as far as I know, is not going to be offered again this year. Probably not, maybe not ever. And that was a very valuable conference for me for the level of discussion that happened at the conference and with the group that attended, even virtually. So one of the courses that I decided, and I said a little bit ago, building TikTok was going to, I said that was going to be my primary social media for this new name. So with that expectation and intention, I decided to take TikTok Sells Books and that's presented by Jane Ryland and Lila Dubois. And it is a 10-day course, and you are working every day. Or I'll get into that in a moment. There are assignments for you're either in the first day is a 3 to 4 hour presentation of basically a lot of stuff, and you also do some pre-work setting up of things, and then you have 10 days of assignments. And I really, really appreciated that. I really liked the course. It was a lot of fun. It was really interesting, and it was, I think, really good for me to have a group of instructors who were just as invested in me being successful from taking the course as anything else. They really make it clear to you in explaining why they are having you do certain exercises. When you submit a video that you create for an exercise, they will give you very detailed feedback within 24 hours. If you post after the class is over, because some people, life popped up, they just didn't post, didn't get around to posting during the class period time. Oh, Katrina's also taken this course too. And yes, they update it with new changes. So as there are updates to features, as there are updates to policies and everything, they will update the videos in the instruction materials. And a lot of people have taken this course, especially in the romance writing community, but also in the writing community in general. They have a number of mystery authors. They have a number of fantasy authors, thriller authors. Jane and Lila talk about how one of the authors that came through at one point specializes in wuxia. So if you're not familiar, there's literature. It's very similar to it's the same genre, I'll say, as Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. That is wuxia genre. So they have every type of genre will come through that course. And they focus on book talk, not romance book talk. When they first started the course, it was primarily romance authors. That's what they write. That's who their friend circle was. So it is very romance heavy, but book talk is very romance heavy. So I just really appreciated how thoughtful they were in designing the course and the assignments. And as I said, the feedback that they get on the assignments. And it's just as useful to see the feedback on your classmates' work as it is to see the feedback on your own work. Because there were a couple of assignments that I wasn't the first person to post my assignment video, but I looked at what was being said and I was just like, yeah, I'm going to get that same feedback, but I don't have time to redo this video for whatever reason. And so I acknowledged that in my post. I'm like, all right, I can already tell you, you're going to have this kind of feedback because I know. And there's one that Jane was like, yep, yep, yes, see above. But I really appreciated the course. And I feel like I have a really good grounding in getting seated in book talk and moving forward. I'm having fun with it personally. So I am not seeing any conversions yet because my book is not for sale yet. It's available in Kindle Vella to read, but I'm finding that very few people like the Kindle Vella format, and that is fine. That was an experiment. It has given me some feedback, and I am understanding the feedback, and I will adjust moving forward. And I'll leave it at that. But I'm really excited to see what will happen when I do actually have books for sale. But it's also been a really, really good resource for me in finding potential ARC readers that I can contact and offer up my book to as say, hey, I have this available. If you would like to review it, here it is. If you don't, thanks so much for your time for reading this, and I wish you a great day. And we're done. So that, as part of my marketing plan for the year, it's not just to put out videos on TikTok. It is to also contact book influencers. How is it for someone not used to filming videos, TikToks? It is a really good course. They will walk you through it. There are a number of people in the course, in the session that I did, that did not want to put their faces on videos, but they walk you through it as if you have absolutely no experience at all with it. because the majority of the people who have done this course don't have any experience with it. So if you are a complete and total newbie, all they ask to start with is that you have a smartphone that you can put the TikTok app onto. It doesn't matter if it's Android, iPhone. I don't think there's another type of smartphone. And Katrina, super easy step by step. It really is. And so it's not just filming the videos, which is very important and gives you a lot of experience with a different type of video and different features to make the video engaging, or what people would expect to see in book talk. But it is also giving you very specific ideas about content and what kind of content you want to be including for videos on your account. So yeah, I would definitely recommend it. If you are feeling unsure about putting your face on video, which I obviously am very comfortable with, they will strongly encourage you for certain types of content videos, especially with the expectation that people who are in the course are authors. They do strongly suggest for a certain type of content videos that you put your face on. But after the course, you can do whatever you choose to do, but you now have that knowledge of how to do that. So, yeah, so I really strongly suggest taking the course if you're involved in the publishing industry and are all interested in learning more about book talk and things that you can do to succeed at it. If it is definitely of interest to you, it could also be that you want to take the course just to confirm that it is not something that you want to be doing. It's some money to do that, but it might be worth it. So TikTok sells books is $299. However, Jane and Lila have coupons everywhere if you sign up for their waiting list. So I did put the link to the course website in the description already. It's already there. But if you go to the website and sign up for their waiting list, you will get a $50 discount code. There are a couple of other places where they talk about it and where they might post discount codes as well, but that is one sure way to get a discount code, is to sign up for their waiting list. And Katrina, yeah, I didn't like being on video at first, but now it doesn't bother me at all. So those are definitely things to consider. I really liked it. I thought the format of the class was very useful. So they have the kickoff call on the first day. Like I said, it was about 3 to 4 hours. You also have pre-work of watching a number of videos to kind of like get you started with an understanding of actually getting the app on your phone if it's not already on your phone, and setting up an account. So that is all pre-work stuff. They will also send you a list of suggested equipment, such as like a ring light, a microphone, a tripod. So I already had all of those from doing YouTube stuff. So in fact, I've got like stand lights, which I use. I only use one of them when I'm doing TikTok stuff, but mainly because I actually really don't like ring lights personally. I have one, just don't really like it. So those are, they send you all of that stuff in the pre-work and the pre-course introduction. And I highly recommend. I was not going to watch the pre-course videos. I'm like, I already know all this. I didn't. It's like, I've been on TikTok for a while, not a whole long time, but for a little bit. I knew how to create videos. I discovered some of the features. I found watching those videos prior to the course starting to be extremely useful. So if you think you know TikTok, I highly recommend still watching the pre-course videos that they will send to you. They are very useful, and I learned stuff. So that is my plug for watching the pre-course videos if you sign up for the course. And then, like I said, 3 to 4 hour kickoff call. And then here's the one thing that some people might have an issue with. The course is held on Facebook. I do know for a fact that they are looking for some kind of platform that they can move it off of Facebook, more because they're having some frustrations with Facebook and notifying them of the people turning in assignments. So there's that. But for now, the course is held on Facebook. So keep that in mind. And then you have 10 days of assignments that will just gradually walk you through improving your skills in, doing certain types of videos common to book talk. And so that you learn things like how to use a sound, spotting trends, doing, putting stickers on your screen. Yeah. This is exactly why I don't like ring lights. They're annoying with glasses. So yeah, honestly, because I have the box lights, they also have the screen over them. So it softens. It's not so bright on me, and blinding, frankly. So yeah, so that's why I don't personally like ring lights. I think I have these box lights listed in my standard description. I will check, and if not, I will update that because I do want to have them in there. I think I got them for under $100 off on Amazon. So I really do like them, and have found them useful, but they take up a little bit of space. So something to consider. But yeah, I highly recommend the class. And I think that's pretty much all I have besides all of that. But it was definitely, even if I didn't have the $50 off code, it would have been well worth the $300, which is the base course fee for taking the class. I got a lot out of it, and I feel a lot more confident in how I'm using BookTok specifically to help in marketing my books. So I will say views seem to be down across the board right now, and that's okay. As I said in a comment to a post from Lila, she posted in the group the other day. Let me see if I can quickly find it because I liked my phrasing. Hold on. Pulling up another window. Let's see. Oh, there we are. So Lila was talking about random reminder to just keep posting because you never know when a post will show back up on someone's feed. She had gotten a comment on one of her videos that said, okay, but I remember seeing your books on my FYP forever ago, telling myself I needed to read them and then forgetting. So glad I found you. And so I replied to Lila's post, not the video, saying, I keep telling myself that it's a game of consistency, even if I am a little chaotic in my consistency, because you never know when someone will be served your content. And that is true across all types of social media. So whether you are doing YouTube, whether you're doing Twitter, whether you're doing Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, whatever your social media platform of choice, if you're doing social media, it is consistency. And I've enjoyed seeing it grow. I took the very first course. Oh, very cool. So I've been able to learn as they see more features, and yeah, the views are a pain. So this is true. I had posted something at the beginning of December, and that video is still getting interaction almost 2 months later. Here's the thing. When I first signed up for TikTok under my other account, my Crafting Ruby Dreams account, which has turned into essentially my burner account, I don't know if I'm going to take what I learned with the TikTok Sells Books class and apply it to Planner Talk. I might down the road as I have the time. But right now it's for watching videos about foraging as a Black woman and chef reactions to really, really shitty recipe in major air quotes videos, and really interesting and intriguing animal facts videos. I will get served up videos from the accounts that I follow, or even accounts that I don't follow, that are months old. So I have noticed that even before taking this course, that I will get served up content that is not new, is not fresh. So that is something to consider, is just, if you keep going, the system is going to recognize that you are continuing to create content. So maybe this older piece that did well, let's serve it up to your newer people. And sorry, there's always people joining the platform. As with anything though, not everybody is going to see all of your videos, even if they follow you. So you just gotta take it as it comes. And I personally, I'm looking forward to seeing how it will work. And the other thing being that I can take the videos that I create on TikTok and port them over to my Instagram account that I have for my new pen name as Reels. And if they're under a minute long, I can also post them to YouTube as a short for the account I created for the new pen name. So repurposing of content to widen your reach. So those are all things to consider. And yeah, so I highly recommend TikTok Sells Books. I definitely recommend Publish and Thrive, with the understanding that, yes, these are expensive courses, but I think if you are truly investing in yourself as a business person, oh, here's an added thing. Saw someone say also put them on your Pinterest boards. I will be trying that as well. That would be very interesting. And I wonder if you could just link to TikTok or Instagram or whatever, or if you needed to, like, maybe putting it up on your website, I think would be a thing. But I don't know. I could see, yeah, because Pinterest, honestly, that's been more of a search engine. Like 10 years, I was at a publishing conference 10 years ago, and there was one traditional publisher, not genre fiction. It was a nonfiction publisher primarily, talking about how important Pinterest was to their marketing 10 years ago. So, said link to your website. Yes, that's my personal instinct, would be to whatever, if you can just directly upload to Pinterest, upload the video and then link to the book on your website. That is my personal thing. I keep saying that. So, all right. Does anyone have any other questions? I will happily take burnout questions since I've been through it multiple times. But yeah, I'm just really quickly, Coda, to that discussion. I am honestly really excited about moving forward with the writing and getting back into book 2. So I'm going to work hard to, at the very least, get around this block so that I can move forward with that, because I have the deep desire to, I want to get back into writing. I had so much fun writing book 1. I know once I get started with writing book 2, I'm going to have that kind of fun again, in a different way, because it's different characters. And yeah, so that is what I'm looking forward to doing. Planning wise, as a heads up, one of the good news pieces of this week is that I am going to go wild. I've had the ticket since last fall, but I got notified on Thursday that I was selected to be one of the volunteers. So if you're going to go wild, look for me in a volunteer shirt. I don't know my schedule. I don't know where I'll be at, but I will be there. So, I felt myself creeping into burnout and lessen my publishing plans for the year because I don't want to go down that road again. It was very, very good of you to recognize and also then take steps and actions to do what you need to do to if not avoid it completely, then to lessen the impact on you and make it easier for you to deal with being in burnout if that actually does happen. So good on you. And Julia, I wish you all the luck. I really do, because I know I'll be moving at the end of the year, and working on that. One of the things I was planning on doing today was clearing and decluttering everything that I have on the couch behind me. But I took the nap instead because turns out the nap was more important. So I wish you all the luck with the move. I really, really do. So, all right. I think that is it for today. I hope you all have a really wonderful rest of the weekend if it is your weekend. I will see what February is like for live streams. I definitely would like to get back to doing them on a more regular basis, but at the same time, they are a pressure for me with the burnout. So I will try to do at least 2. And I will keep you updated through the community tab. I am so thankful for that. And I really appreciate all of you who check in over there. But yeah, watch the community tab because I will absolutely announce the next live stream before it happens. So that is not a surprise for you. And I'm so thankful for all of you who do join the live streams and have all these wonderful comments and conversations that you add to the live streams. If you are on Replay Crew, I appreciate you as well. So please leave a comment with anything you would like to see discussed in the future or comments you have about what was discussed in this live stream. And again, thank you so much all for being here today, and may all your dreams be Ruby dreams. Bye-bye. Yes, end broadcast.